One, go, three.
Thank you so much, Symbolic Soul, for joining me on this interview. It is such a pleasure to have you on this night. I have about 10 questions that I am going to be going over with you. And I just know that this is going to be an amazing interview because you are such a phenomenal woman. So are you ready for the first question?
I am ready. First of all, just let me say thank you for having me. Man, God is amazing. He just put amazing people in your life, and just the way that we connected is beautiful, because from connecting with you and just doing the event that you had, other people connected with me, and I'm just able to do God's work more and all over the world. So it's a blessing. So thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me. I had such a phenomenal time when we did the Zoom conference, the Art of Melanin, and all of the people that we met. It was just a kingdom night. And you were just such a blessing to so many souls on that conference. So I know that you're going to be a blessing to so many souls on this night when they watch this interview.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna try. Well, let me not say that, because trying is lying. So I'm gonna do it. That's
Oh,
my
like that,
goal.
flying.
That's
Okay.
my goal, to be a blessing to somebody.
All right. Well, Kingdom Tears is definitely excited to have you. Let us get started with this interview. So the first question, why the name Symbolic Soul?
The name Symbolic Soul, basically, I feel like a name is very important, right? So when I was trying to come up with a poet name, I was like, okay, so what is it that I do? What do I aspire to do? What do I want to do? So I said, okay, I feel like I save souls. I feel like that's what my poetry does. So since I feel like I save souls, and then the way that I do it, I'm a symbol. So I was just like, okay, so Symbolic Soul. And that's how my name came about.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That is amazing.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Where did you come from? And what was your upbringing like?
I came from my mama. No, no, for real. I I'm originally from New Orleans, but yeah, I still did really come from my mama and my daddy. So yeah, my upbringing was, I had a lot of turmoil and pain. Um, my story is, I didn't really like get along with my mama like that, and she basically, I felt like she hated me. I felt like you know that she competed with me for my daddy's love, because I was my daddy's favorite. So I felt like she was always clashing with me, like in that sense. um as a kid, I didn't understand it, because I felt like, I'm innocent. I'm an innocent child, so it's like, why do I have to compete with my mama for my daddy's love? And why do my mama feel envious and jealous of me? It was just like, and I would see other girls with their mama, and they had like this relationship, where their mama was their best friend. I've never experienced that, so it would kind of like, I would look at that and be like, do I want that? Do I need that? So I didn't know. So that, in return, that had me like feeling like lost for, man, the majority of my life. Because, like, once again, when you go through something as a child and you never learn how to heal from it, you're going to basically go through life lost. And then you're going to basically attract these other people that are toxic, and they, even though you don't want it, you're going to wind up getting involved with people who are building relationships and friendships with people who are also toxic. And because you're familiar, it's about a familiar behavior, basically. So you're going to always go back to that, because it's easy, it's simple, but you don't know how it's really like tearing you down in the process internally.
Right. One question that's kind of off interview, but are you the only girl? How do you have siblings, obviously, because you said you're the favorite.
Yes,
So are you the
I
only
have two other sisters and a half brother.
Oh, okay. And you said you were the favorite. So were you the only one that your mom treated like that?
Um, you know, I'll say this after a while when I finally found God and I learned how to show empathy and understand where she was coming from, I don't I feel like my mother had some issues. She had some things that she had dealt with as a child, and she had to learn how to heal from those things. So in return, she treated like her kids um emotionally like abusing us or whatever, like by calling us names and everything like that. So she treated all of us the same in that sense, but I had got it extra because of the fact that I was a daddy's girl, and because in my eyes, my daddy could do no wrong. I wanted to go wherever my daddy was. If she was gonna put him out, I was like, look, I'm coming with you. We're gonna be on the street together. That's how much love I had for my daddy, basically.
At what age did you realize that you had a love for poetry?
When I was younger, I used to write songs, right? And I used to live in my head a lot, so I used to write. Um, I didn't think that it was anything because, of course, like when I went to school, to the teachers, because of who I was just like shy, timid kid, and so the teachers made me feel like I could barely read or write, right? And
Mhm.
so it's like it was my escape actually when I was younger. But again, like when you have gifts and talents, if you don't lose them, if you don't use them, you will lose them. And
Mhm.
um eventually when I found God brought it all back to me basically, and then that's how poetry came about actually. Because when I was a teenager though, I was a rapper too, so I did try to rap, but then when again I still knew inside of me the things that I was rapping about wasn't real. And then I've always had to be that person to be truthful. It was always about truth for me. If somebody was gonna tell me a lie, I'm gonna search for the truth. I need to know the truth. Is the truth means so much to me, basically. And so um if I was going to be a rapper, I had to be saying my truth. And basically back then when you was rapping about cars and selling drugs and everything like that. So I was just like, do I really want to do that? So I can, live my truth and speak my truth in the lyrics or whatever. So I decided, nah, it wasn't for me. So I let it go.
Okay. And then you just continued to do the poetry part
Well,
of
no,
it.
no, no. The poetry wasn't even. It didn't even come. Actually, I've only been doing poetry now for about 2 years, 2 years and a half.
Hmm. So what would you differentiate when it comes to poetry and rap? Like, what's the difference to you?
Uh, you
I know
know
this ain't
what?
one of the questions.
You know what? Like I don't really think it's a difference because even now when I write, that's why people is like drawn to it because like this one guy had told me like I have a hypnotic rhythm. So like when I'm
Mhm.
when I'm performing, I captivate people because I'm a different type, and I'm answering one of these other questions that beforehand. I don't know. It's just like when he just get to me, I just say it. So yeah, basically I just write um what I write the way that I'm gonna perform it, basically. So um the way I write is sort of like a flow too. So I keep mine like in a floetic form. So basically it's like mine is poetry slash rap. It would be how it depends on how you say it, how you display it or whatever. But even still, like this one guy who was from what's his name? He is he's a rapper. He was on that Cardi B show. Did you watch that Cardi B show?
I don't watch Cardi.
But it was like rapping. I can't think of it right now, but um I can't. I bet you I'm gonna think about it after this interview is over. But yeah. So anyway, he had won too. He won. Because he's like he was like a poet, and then he can also did he sing? I don't know, but he just had like this flow, and he just good, So he won, and that's what I'm saying. So it's just like I feel like poetry could be anything, right? So it can be rap at the same time too. It depends on how you just do it, how you perform it.
Yeah, I feel like they're similar, but with me personally, I would say I'm more of a poet than a rapper. If you try to put me on a beat, you probably gonna laugh. But I'm a poet strictly. Like when people be like, okay, well, if you're a poet, you can rap. I'd be like, I'm a poet. You don't want to put me on no beat. No, I'm
You
just
know,
playing.
I
I'm actually working on that though. So
I used to be like that too, though. Like maybe when I was younger too. When I'm telling you, when I was trying to be a rapper, I went into the studio one time. I went into the studio and then they played the beat, and I couldn't rap over the beat, and I got discouraged, right? So I was just like, man, that was another reason why I was just like, rapping ain't for me, and I just gave up, and that's what happened. But now, hey, I can do what
yeah,
it do on the beat.
you get down now, okay? Next question. Do you have a specific audience that you target with your art?
Not at all. Not at all, because I feel like I have a message from God, and God tells me to do something and I do it, because like for the longest, actually when I first started out, I performed in bars. So you talking about people are at the bars, they drinking, having a good time or whatever. Then I get up there, and just like I say, I have the ability to captivate them. And then they like, in the end, they like, man, I wasn't even ready for this. I just came here to get a drink. And then to hear you, and it's like, man, this is amazing. And this guy is coming up to me telling me this, right? So it's like my poetry resonate with anybody, and that's the way that I want it to be.
As a poet, writer, and woman of God, what would you say your purpose is?
Man, my purpose is, just like I said, man, to speak life and truth. It's so many people that want to hide the truth, or just want to maybe fear, whatever it is, they so afraid of what somebody else gonna think of them, or whatever, or what somebody, how they gonna make somebody feel if you tell your story. We all have a story. Don't be ashamed to tell your story. How are you gonna heal if you don't learn how to speak your truth and tell your story?
Yeah.
I speak life and truth through my poetry. You follow me, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's my life. It's my story. I don't have nothing to hide. I
Okay.
I don't if somebody's offended by what I'm saying, with my truth is my truth. So if you offended, it's like that I can't do nothing about that. I have to say this is basically, I'm put in this position. It's been so long where I let my voice, I let people take my voice like a long time ago. And once I found poetry, I found my voice. So I think I'm answering one of your questions already, but either way, like when I found poetry, I found my voice. So my voice, I speak for people who can't speak. So
Right.
basically, I'm gonna say my truth.
Girl, I love that, because I'm still finding mine. I still worry about some things, putting them out there, but you encouraging me. What makes you stand out from all the other poets and artists out there?
Oh man, I feel like what makes me stand out, and this is a great question, because for a while, when I first started, I see these other poets and they have these big words, and they say these big words, and they be like, yes, this and that, you know what I'm saying, like that. And
Mhm.
I didn't have that, so that did make me kind of feel like a certain way. But then other people would tell me, I like your poetry because it's you. And what makes me stand out is in my poetry, or just like from everybody else is because I'm up there and I'm being authentically me. You don't have to worry about me telling you a lie because like I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to speak my truth. And it's going to be something. I'm going to use my story to help you, and I'm going to encourage you and motivate you for you to do the same, so that's what makes me stand out. Like, I care. I truly care about everybody I'm speaking to. I don't even have to know you, but I care about you. And in my words, you can tell that. In my message, you can tell that I care.
That's amazing. I feel like us as believers, we tend to be that way. Um, the hard part about it is sometimes getting hurt because of the love that you have as a believer. And sometimes people don't love themselves the way that we love them, the way that God loves them. Sometimes they don't love themselves, and they don't love God, obviously. So they can't love you. They can't reciprocate that love. And it hurts just like it hurts God.
Right. Agreed.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that you face as a poet in regards to support and getting yourself out there?
I would have to say, at first, this is crazy, right? At first, I was thinking like, I don't know how to market myself, right? And then, so I thought about it, and I was talking to somebody. Actually, somebody had reached out to me that was on one of your open mics. They reached out to me, and so I was having a conversation with them, and this happens all the time, right? That I recognize, I'll be talking to somebody and then I just recognize something. So I was just like explaining to her how to do something, right? And then I said, wait a minute, I said that I'm not good at marketing, but if I can sit here and explain to you how to market, there's no way possible I cannot be good at marketing, right? So I said, and then I had a message, right? So I was like, I said, so because I say, don't do that. Don't sit there and say you're not good at something, because you speak that over your life, So don't sit there and say, I can't do this and I can't do that. Speak life and truth over your life, and then you're gonna do it. And even if you can't do it, say I'm working at it. Don't even say you're trying, because again, trying is lying. So say I'm working at it.
I love that.
I'm gonna do it. Don't sit there and make excuses and say that what you can't do, and don't tell yourself you can't do something. You're a child of God. God said you can do anything. So anything is possible.
Yep. Which reminds me, when I tend to say that I can't do something, then I remember and I say, well, my reality is I don't know how to do it yet, but my truth says I can do all things. So in truth, because we serve a good God, we can do all things. Just like the Bible says, we can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth us. So we can do all things. So reality may not be there yet, but my truth says I can do all things.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are some of your favorite poets, or do you have one in particular?
I like Maya Angelou.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Yes. Yes, like I'm inspired by her, and I went back and listened to some of her poetry. I'll tell you a story, right? You know how I was telling you how I felt like about when I was, because like I said, I've only been doing this for 2.5 years. So and then I went to these different open mics and stuff, and then people are doing poetry and stuff there, right? So I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, their poetry is so good, and mine's it's not, because I felt like I wasn't saying those big words or anything, right? And then so we went to I was with a friend of mine, and then we had went to like get something to eat afterwards, right? And there was this guy in there, and so he just started talking to us, right? And so he just started talking, and he was like, well, what's your name or whatever? And so I tell him, and so and then he just started telling me my life, right? And then so I said, I told him, I said, are you hungry? I'm gonna buy you something to eat, right? And he was like, no, I'm good or whatever. And I said, no, I'm gonna get you something to eat, because he was homeless, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
so after he started talking to me and telling me my life or whatever, right? And that was just like, how did this man know this about me, right? So God was sending me a message, and God does this often,
Mm-hmm.
send me messages when I feel discouraged or feel down about something.
Mm-hmm.
He sends me those messages or whatever. And so the guy was told me that when, because I performed for him, I just, you know, say the poem, and he was like, wow. He's like, man, you're like the next Maya Angelou or whatever. And I was like, that made me feel like so special, you know, for him to say that to me. And then I was like, I know that was nobody but God, you know, because this guy just came from nowhere. And then he, like I said, he told me my life. He even he said my mama name. He said my life story, and I ain't know him from Adam, you know.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
Look how
God is
amazing.
amazing.
I'm telling you. Hey, do you have any social media so that viewers can contact you if they would like to book you, reach out to you, or listen to some of your beautiful work?
Absolutely. So on my government name on Facebook, I go by Aisha Chantel Ward. On Facebook, I inspire, encourage, motivate. You know, I try to post daily to keep you encouraged, motivated. I post quotes, pictures of just me living my life, my symbolic soul journey. Everybody who buys my book, I like to take a picture, which reminds me, I gotta send you your book. I'm gonna send it tomorrow. So since I can't take a picture with you, I'm asking you to take a picture so
Of
I can add you
course.
to my journey, because I want
Yeah.
to make sure that I remember everybody who I crossed paths with on this journey, you know.
Mhm.
So it's amazing. So anyway, so then I also have on there is Symbolic Soul 77. That is Facebook too. And also on Instagram, I'm Symbolic Soul 77 as well. And on my website, if you want to purchase my book, I had my book. Oh, here it is. Yes, here is my book. If you guys want to purchase my book, Healing Souls Turning Pain into Purpose. Um, each book, I mean, each message, each poem in the book is a message. And then I also have a space called Bare Your Soul, where you can talk to God, or you can just write whatever in your heart, so you can learn how to heal, so you can start the healing process. So this book is a purpose. It came from God. And that's why, you know, the devil tried to discourage me and stop me from writing this book. But it's out, and I just want to touch the world and have everybody just heal. And basically you can order my book on symbolicsoul77.com.
Okay. That's awesome. I cannot wait to read your book, and I will be coming to San Antonio.
For real?
So I'm gonna drive out there. I'm gonna be at one of your open mics, okay?
That's
I'm
what's
gonna
up.
drive
That's
over out
what's
there.
up. Man, I might have to come out there, like to Arizona.
If you do, girl, it's nice and hot. So
I'm gonna have to come to your open mic, because I know you say you're gonna have one at the end of the year.
I am.
I'm gonna try to make that one.
Yes, I am. And I'm definitely going to attend one of yours because I'd be so jealous over here. I'm like, why? I want to be there. So, yeah. Hopefully, when I have mine, all of this mask stuff will come to a halt, because I love to see beautiful faces and it's hard to see it with a mask on. So,
That's so true.
all right, last question. Would you mind sharing a poem, a song, or both with us today?
Yes, of course. The song that I'm gonna share is called I wrote this song, right? And I wrote this before everything was happening. So I know God gave me these words. And so I wrote the song, and then I reached out to Vocab, which is the poet laureate here. Her name is Andrea Vocab Sanderson. and it's the poet. She's the poet laureate, so she sings it, and she does some beautiful poetry on there. So that's the one that I'll share with y'all. It's gonna be on my upcoming album, that's dropping on March the 20th, called Beautifully Flawed, and I just hope you guys just enjoy it.
Yes. So here is that song, and we will share it right now.
Yeah, we need you. We need you now more than ever. 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 We're tired of our faith being tested. See, we think we've learned all the lessons. We're standing in full submission. Now we know what we've been missing. Our eyes are open. Our ears are listening. Our hearts are saddened. We need you now. Our eyes are open. Our ears are listening. Our hearts are saddened. We need you now.
Running out of time and running out of breath. Hoping for a different outcome, but I can't figure out what's next. So-called friends on my mind, but they never had my back, so I had to 86 them. This gift has caused me too much grief, trying to please everyone else, but in the process, I neglected what really truly mattered to me. Walking around with a heavy heart, long suffering, I wouldn't wish this feeling on anyone. I thought I had it all figured out, but I constantly find myself struggling to keep my head above water. Questions left unanswered have me feeling like I'm trapped behind a barrier. I lost everything while trying to give too much of myself to everyone else. I wrote the words, but I didn't think I needed to tell them to myself. With a stone heart, I reach for my Father above and wonder, how did I let it all fall apart?
Fall apart, standing in the stony ruins, life's hard-knock student, prudent in this pedagogy of suffering, fluent in this language of a hurting people. We plead under steeples for you to lift these burdens. I am certain that trouble will not last always, just as I am certain that you are perfect in all of your ways. But my weakness is time sensitive in this situation. My problems can't ignore them. My patience is purging my decorum. I am desperate for your help. I bow my head, lift my hands, and humble myself.
We humble ourselves. So wrapped up in our own science, we now realize that we need your guidance. Torn between the enemy lies and our own reality. We're tired of creating our own catastrophes. As we drop to our knees and pray for all this pain to flee, Lord, we need your guarantees. Please take away all our stress and anxieties. Isolation has us living with uncertainty. This pandemic has us all afraid to breathe. The world needs to be reconstructed piece by piece. God, now more than ever, we need your supernatural peace. Lord, we worship and praise your name for eternity. Flowing tears as we grieve the loss of many. One death, another after another. We confess with our tongues that we need you now more than ever, 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 ever.
We need you now more than ever. We need you now more than ever. We need you now more than ever. We need you now more than ever. Our
So, do you have any last words that you would like to share? Any encouraging words, inspire somebody, anything that you would like to tell us today before we end this interview?
Man, basically, you know, just like I was saying, I um got this message from somebody and they was telling me to trust the process, right? And then I heard it again, so it was confirmation. So, and then, but they told me trust in the process. So either way, I took the message and I ran with it. Basically, there's always going to be a process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trust God through it all, no matter what you're going through, no matter if it's a divorce, if it's, sadness, depression, you thinking having suicidal thoughts, trust God and God will get you through it. You don't have to be alone. Speak to somebody. Don't just sit there. The devil likes isolation. Don't be isolated. Talk to somebody, reach out to somebody, ask somebody for help. If you're silent and nobody knows what you're going through unless you talk to somebody and let somebody know what's going on. you know um Life is beautiful. I know, I'm saying this because from experience, that it was times in my life that I thought, I questioned my existence and my purpose, and why God even had me here. And just to be and finally find God, and just the love. If you feel like nobody loves you, God loves you, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have the opportunity to change our life at any time. To change, if you doing something in your life, or if you something is not going right, you can change it at any time. We have that choice to say no more. And when you say no more, do something different, and I promise you, your life will change. God loves you. I love you. Kingdom Tears loves you.
Yes,
It's
we
all
do.
love.
Beauty and Bars loves you. Okay. So, do you have anything coming up that you would like to share?
Well, yes, I am. March 20th is my album release celebration. It's a vibe. If you want to come, hit me up, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and let me know, and I'll give you the address. It's a private event, so let me know if you wanna slide through or whatever. It's a
Mhm.
$10 fee. It's a $10 charge because you get the CD. Personally signed the CD, and you get food. So we gonna have food raffle. It's live. It's gonna be a good vibe. I'm also gonna be in a movie called Only God Can Change Me with a wonderful
Oh,
cast. Yes, my first movie, right?
look at God moving.
Yes, God is amazing. God, listen, I every year I come up with a word, and my word this year is limitless. So
Yes,
there's nothing that I can't accomplish. So God say I can do it, most definitely it will be done.
girl.
Also some of the people that's on my album, uh I have 3D Nati. She's from New Orleans, an amazing rapper, hands down one of the best. She's gonna be on my album. Vocab, the poet Lariat of San Antonio, is gonna be on that. Sensei Ken Jake, he is the one that produced most of the songs on my album. He's gonna be on my album too with his vocals. I also have my son. My son is on my album. Timothy Washington, right? Yes,
Mhm.
that's amazing. I got my son. He told me, he says he wanted to be like me. I told him, no, don't be like me. Be better than me. Be
Come
greater than
on.
me. Do more than me. I'm sure you can. You can start young.
Mhm.
Don't go through that life, those life lessons that I went through. I mean, you're
Come on
gonna
now.
get the lessons. You're gonna get the lessons. They're gonna happen. But don't be like me, because I was one of those people who was like, what, somebody would tell me don't go down that road, and I'm like, just because that happened to you on that road don't mean it's gonna happen to me, right?
Right.
I was one of those people like that, right? So it's like, now I
Yeah,
learned. I wish I wouldn't have never went down that road,
I'm telling you.
but of
I'm
course
telling
it
you.
made me who I am today.
Right.
So that's what I got going on. I'm gonna try to do some more open mics. I'm gonna have all kind of different performances going on. Like I said, God is limitless, so there is nothing that I can't do. I'm also a spiritual life coach now too. So if anybody want to be, need a spiritual life coach, hit me up. I'm definitely gonna take the time with you. It's all love. I care, appreciate all my fans, all my supporters. You guys are loved. If nobody told you they love you today, I love you. Infinity times 2 plus 100.
Well, I love you too. No. Well, thank you so much for participating in this interview. It was a pleasure. It was all love. It was a beautiful time. It was a kingdom time. I definitely thank you for joining us on this beautiful day and taking time out of your schedule. Thank you so much for the encouraging words. I know that it's going to touch some soul out there because it definitely touched me. And that is it for this time. Thank you to all of the viewers that are watching this interview. Thank you for the love, the support. Thank you for everything. And it has been such a kingdom time, such kingdom conversation. And I thank you once again for being on here and agreeing to participate in this interview.
Thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I'm so blessed that God put you in my path, and now we're going to do great things together. That's how it's going to happen.
Collaborate.
Yes, definitely. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
Nobody can stop what God put together.
Of course.
You're never going to be in the darkness long. Light is always there.
It is. Ever present.
Coming. Light is always coming. It's faster than you know it.
I know that you love me, so I'm feeling good. Say but not soft, you get that understood. God got me doing things I never would.